Hey all you Gucci feet out there, in this video I'm going to teach you how to cut your calluses at home with an example from a wonderful patient. I will include various techniques, tips and tricks that I have learned over 3 years time as a podiatrist. So sit back, relax and enjoy these Gucci feet. Hey guys, Jackie from Gucci Feet. Since I promised this patient that I won't put her voice here, I just thought it'd be nice to actually give tips to many people who are watching who are interested in callus removal. Whether you're a podiatrist yourself or just a person who wants to cut their own hard skin, these tips will definitely help you. In between these tips and tricks, I'll put breaks so you guys can appreciate and be entertained from me beautifying this foot. Now there's this ongoing struggle for many people out there as to debriding too much or causing people to bleed too much, or perhaps you're just not confident in cutting a lot of skin. The first thing I want to teach you is the grip and how to hold the scalpel nicely. If you look at how I hold it, I prefer to hold it like a coin scratcher, like for lottery tickets. This gives me a lot of control of the blade, and remember to point the index finger close to the back of the blade itself for maximum control. I like to use my pinky, the back of my pinky, to rest on the patient's foot in case people kick me, and I can have this weaver room to actually protect myself and protect the patient as well, which often happens a lot. And my other hand, I always use it to pull the skin for tension, otherwise you can't cut it. The reason for this is because it's super important to get that angle of the blade right. And what I mean by that angle is like getting it really almost parallel to the skin itself, and it's super important to do that, and it makes it so much easier to cut the hard skin and makes it look like cheese, like how I'm doing it right here. Now everybody's hands are different, so it may vary between people, but generally you want to have a nice and almost flat angle to get that callus out.
Your hands will be so tired that and the blades are burnt out, so you have to change blades quite often. Like even now, this blade is starting to get a little bit blunt. But yeah, still a little bit.
Now the next tip is to use alcohol spray to spray on that callus very often. This is going to make it easier to distinguish healthy skin from calluses, which is usually yellow, translucent with a rubbery texture, as to healthy skin, which is pink and just like any surrounding good skin. Also, it makes it a lot easier to scrape it off because it's a lot more wet and it's a lot more easier, it makes it a little bit more soft, so you gotta do that. Once you get really good with it, you can just do it by feeling. I usually do it with my thumb and just feel around with it, and if it feels too rubbery, it feels a little bit not like skin, then that's why I keep going. Spraying lets you see if there's any hard skin left, so I recommend doing this especially when you don't know if you have anything left there. Also, don't forget to give them moisturizer in the end because it actually does dry their foot a bit, so after everything's done, moisturize. So if you notice near the beginning of the video, there was actually a point where I almost dug too deep, and how I saved myself was to angle my blade towards myself before to get this cutting, the scooping motion that I made, and to save myself from bleeding the patient. So imagine you angle it too deep and you know you're cutting in too much and you know something bad will happen. How do you save yourself from accidentally cutting your patient or yourself? Angle your blade away and make it like a little scoop-like action. That's what I do to actually save myself from it. By doing that, you will not cut into the flesh and save yourself the trouble. I'm just gonna replay that little part where I saved myself there, and it's really nice that you guys can do something similar to that. So you see me struggle around here just to getting the skin off, and I went a little bit too deep, and then what I did was I scooped it up, I angled it away from the skin, and then went down, and that's how I saved myself from cutting the patient. Try imagining like you're smearing some butter on toast. That smearing down motion is when you actually cut someone and you turn the blade around and smear it from the back of the blade, just like how you do on butter on the toast. So that's how you save yourself. Just know that these things won't come overnight, and I took hundreds and hundreds of patients with many cuts before I got decent with the blade. And you'll always cut the patient no matter how good you are, so don't feel bad about it. So I hope you guys enjoy these tips, and I'll leave you be with the end result of this video. I hope you enjoy.